Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to work with one single natural food item, which are mushrooms. We are going to create 3 dishes, 1 appetizer, 1 side dish, and 1 soup base that can be used as a delicious soup and as a soup base that goes in many popular casseroles. So all we got to do now is get into the kitchen and clean these mushrooms, which requires a clean toothbrush. I'll show you in a moment. I have 10 mushrooms I'm using. There's only 2 of us, and this is an appetizer for us, so we'll each get 5 mushrooms. That's great, 5 stuffed mushrooms. I have a clean toothbrush. We're going to be rinsing these and putting them on this clean dish towel, and we're going to dry them thoroughly before we use them. I'm also going to be cleaning the other mushrooms for the other 2 dishes. The main purpose of washing the mushrooms and brushing them off is to loosen up the dirt, to remove the loose dirt. You're still going to have a mushroom that looks like it has dirt on it. That's just the way they are. So, because I thought, what is the point of this? And then I saw some loose dirt down in the strainer that came off. Now we need to dry these mushrooms because if they remain wet, they will not be very flavorful, because the mushroom soaks up water much like a sponge, and it will retain the water, and that will take away from the flavor and possibly the texture of the mushroom when it's cooked. So we want to dry these as well as possible. So I'm going to dry off the ones that I'm going to use right away, the larger ones for the stuffed mushrooms. I'm going to dry these off without breaking them. You have to be very gentle. I did break 1 mushroom. It's going to have to be used as a sauteed mushroom. I have our mushrooms on the tray I'm going to bake them in. And I've got the oven set at 350. So I'll take the stems out. And I'm going to place them on a board right next to this. I'm going to cut the stems up and put them in with the sausage stuffing. So this is all I have to do right here. And see, when you take it out, it looks like it's too narrow, but then just do this. And look, you've got plenty of space to stuff it, put the stuffing in. Okay, I'm just going to chop them up in little pieces. Now it's time to dice the mushroom stems to go in with the sausage stuffing. Now we have our other components, about 2 tablespoons, because I'm only making half a recipe, about 2 tablespoons of cheese. I'm going to reserve the rest for the topping after they're taken out of the oven, and about 1/8 a cup of crushed cracker crumbs or breadcrumbs. We don't have to cook onion or garlic or minced garlic. It's already in here from. This is sausage that I cooked yesterday in a video for an Italian pasta dish. Okay, it was under healthy, delicious, budget-friendly meals. And I believe that's it for the stuffing. So I have a teaspoon. I'm just going to stuff that in there in each mushroom. Let's see what it looks like. Put these stuffed mushrooms in the oven for 12 minutes. And we can prep for our other dishes. These are what I measured out for the sauteed mushrooms. I just cut them in half. Some oil heating in a pan. We're going to saute these mushrooms halves. There we go. Just cook them in that oil. A little salt. and pepper. We don't do anything. We just heat oil in the pan, medium-high heat. Add mushrooms and season with salt and pepper. Quickly toss to coat mushrooms in oil. Then I would say to turn the heat down and cook for 4 minutes. In the meantime, it's time to pull out our stuffed mushrooms and garnish them with a little cheese. This recipe calls for fresh Parmesan. I don't have it, so I'm using what I have, which is a Fiesta blend. They'll be pretty and they'll be delicious anyway. Okay, it said to stir and toss on the other side. I tried to do that. I could turn this one over, I guess. There we go. Some of them I didn't turn over. There we go. So they get, more or less, so they get cooked on each side. 2 minutes, 2 more minutes. And then we'll be adding, garlic and butter, yum. Okay, I'm gonna put the butter in the middle so it will melt. There, I'm gonna let that melt a little bit before I add any. It's minced garlic. There we go. There's our garlic. I'm gonna mix that around with the butter and the mushrooms. And here are the sauteed mushrooms. Delicious. I used real butter for this too, and minced garlic. Finally, last but not least, we are making mushroom soup, and I can hardly wait. This is one of my favorite soups of all time. It makes the best casseroles. This mushroom soup recipe is my own recipe. It's based on an asparagus soup recipe I've been making for years. So I will put that under the description, that complete recipe. The other 2 recipes are from other websites that are amazing, and I'll refer you to those websites. Now we are gonna cook our mushrooms with some chicken broth. I'm gonna make some. I got about 1.5 cups of water. You don't want too much liquid, because you're gonna add milk at the end. So you can always add water if you need it. I'll put a couple teaspoons of bouillon, chicken bouillon. Right, let's go ahead and just pour about 1/2 cup. So just pour part of that in with the mushrooms. And we also are going to add onions. We're going to cook this down. So we'll get that cooking until the mushrooms are super tender. In a separate pan, I'm going to make a roux with butter and flour. Let that butter or margarine, whichever you're using, to melt down a little bit. Then I'm going to add the flour. So these mushrooms are starting to cook. That's good. I did cover the mushrooms that are cooking, so they'll cook faster. I'll be taking that lid off after a few minutes and checking them out. All right, got the burner on low. Let's add a couple tablespoons of flour. Add the chicken broth. Gradually whisk it in and turn the heat up. See, I'm breaking it down. I love making cream soups. Let's add the rest of the broth. The mushrooms are almost completely done. I'm going to test one out here. That's done. Fork tender enough for me. So now I'm going to pour it into this. All right. It's not as thick as I like it, but that way I do not have to add as much milk. We are going to add sour cream. I'm just going to turn it off. Add very little milk. A little lemon juice. I added pepper also. Okay. The sour cream, let's whisk it in. Homemade mushroom soup. Taste test, it does need a little salt. Here we are, everything's done. Here's our delicious mushroom soup. It tastes good and looks good. And here's our stuffed mushrooms, yummy, delicious appetizer. And sauteed mushrooms to use as a condiment or side dish. Thank you for staying with me till the end of this video. I really appreciate all your support. Please subscribe, like, and share. There are many other recipes I'd like to share with you and many ideas that I'd like to get from you. If you would just let me know what kind of food items you like me to cook with. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.